Hello and welcome to Rathod's IS. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 4th November 2023. So current affairs is very important to clear prelims and as well as means, and even in interview of UPSC, you can expect questions regarding current affairs. Their examiner will be asking your perspectives. So developing of your own perspectives regarding an issue is very important, and that will fetch you marks. So it is not like reading each and every line which is given in this article. It is not at all helping your UPSC. So you have to do some analysis and you have to develop your own perspectives regarding that so and so topic. Okay, so now we are going to list out which are the articles important from the Hindu edition, the Hindu of this Delhi edition, and we are going to see in how many perspectives we can think about that so and so topic, so that it will helpful for improving of your thought process. And one more thing here is today is Saturday, so there is nothing much important in our Hindu newspaper, so that I collected articles from Indian Express and as well as PIB. And one more thing here is, in our Hindu, what are the articles that appeared which are important from examination point of view? We discussed the earlier lectures. So if you are following one current affairs analysis channel, you have to follow that only, so that there will be continuation of articles will be there. Okay, is that clear? And let us see the front page of the Hindu. So the first article is Ethics Ka Panel asked which hotels I stayed in. So this article is talking about one MP, that is Mahua Motra. So actually ethics committee asked her to come before this committee. So here you have to know about parliamentary committees. So in our Lakshmikant book, Lakshmikant book, you have a separate chapter regarding this parliamentary committees, and you have to focus on that. And you can get a question regarding this parliamentary committee 100% in your prelims, because here the issue regarding this parliamentary committees is in news, and even now ethics committee is in news. So you can get a question regarding either ethics committee. So we can't predict this UPSC, right? Okay, so here we are going to see about this ethics committee, and you have to see what are the challenges that you are facing in this parliamentary committees now. So this article is very, very important from your polity, and which comes under your GS paper 2. And you can expect both prelims and as well as mains question here. So in mains you can get a question like, so what is the relevance of this parliamentary committees? Or else you can get a question like, what are the challenges we are facing in this parliamentary committees? So in this way also you can expect a question. And next topic is difficult to press for women's quota before LS poll, says Supreme Court. So recently one bill which passed, and this bill talks about 33% of reservation for women in Lok Sabha and as well as State Legislative Assembly. So it is 106th Constitutional Amendment Act. So this is also very important. So 106th Constitutional Amendment Act, which talked about 33% of reservation for women in Lok Sabha and as well as State Legislative Assembly. Right, so this article says that, so we are going to have elections in 2024, right? So general elections in 2024. So if you want to talk about, if you want to give reservation for women, then we need to have the census data. So problem here is we didn't have the census data of 2021 yet. We do not have any census data of 2021. So this is one of the issue. Okay, so even we didn't start it due to this COVID-19 pandemic. So here Home Minister said that, so we are going to come up with census data after this elections is done. So this is about this topic. And here if you see this small infographic, it says that a clause in the law says the reservation will be implemented after next census followed by delimitation. So we have to go for delimitation of constituencies because the population is changing, right? So even United Nations World Prospect Report or Population Prospect Report, which said that India is going to be the largest populous country or most populous country in the world. So based on that population, we have to come up with delimitation. After once we are getting this census data, and based on that we can provide this 33% of reservation for women. Is that clear? Are you getting the points or not? So everything is interconnected. You should not read isolatedly only one thing. You have to improve your thinking process. Clear? So here now a petition which argues that reservation should be implemented before Lok Sabha elections. Right? So here this is about this topic. And let us move on to next page. We can move on to the city page. So in the city page, because of this winter season, and always we can see one article that is about air quality, bad air quality in Delhi region. You have to see what are the causes, what are the steps taken by the government, and what is this air quality index and different colors, codes. So that thing is very important. And we discuss this topic number of times. In the states page also that I found nothing important, so most of the articles are political articles. So don't read those political articles. It will be not at all useful. Okay, so it will fetch nothing. So why do waste the time then? That time that you can utilize in your GS preparation, and this prelims is very soon, right? And next topic is 5 Karnataka villages comes under surveillance after Zika virus outbreak. So here we have to see the keyword, that is Zika virus. Okay, Zika virus disease. So one important symptom, or I can say one important outcome of this Zika virus is microcephaly. So microcephaly is nothing but in pregnant women. Okay, so if they are bearing the fetus in their womb, right? So the size of the head will be less compared to that of normal size. So this condition is called as microcephaly. So microcephaly is seen in this Zika virus affected pregnant women. So here what you have to focus? You have to focus on what are the signs and symptoms, and what is the treatment protocol, and if there are any vaccines they are present or not. So all these things are important regarding this Zika virus, and this topic is important from your science and technology. So in science and technology you will be studying one chapter called as diseases. So in that disease we have communicable and non-communicable diseases. So from that point of view we have to see about this topic of Zika virus infection. And if you move on in this editorial page, so this is political article about NDA regime. So this article is not much important. So here you can see about governor should not give scope for criticism, they challenge elected regimes. So this article is talking about issue which is going on in states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Tamil Nadu government and Kerala government, they said that most of the bills they are pending before governor. So he is not taking any action regarding those bills. Right? So in yesterday's class we discussed about in detail constitutional provisions, everything regarding this governor powers and functions. That topic is at most important. So if you have not watched yesterday's lecture, so go back and watch this lecture. So it is very important. And next topic it is about IITs or overcommitted in crisis. So here we can connect this topic with problems in higher education, and recently we studied that there is increasing of suicides. Suicides in IITs. So we have to know about this topic. So it is very, very important. And I want to give you one homework, guys. That is, let me know what are the problems we are facing in this higher education. Okay. And let me know the phases of education, preschool, school phase, okay, SSC, etc. So which are the phases that is present in our Indian education system. So please let me know that in the comment box. And here you have to know about why there is increasing of suicides in IITs. This topic is at most important and most relevant, because if you are a future bureaucrat, then how you are going to handle this issue. So for that itself, so you have to think like an officer now onwards. Then if you started thinking issue from officer point of view, automatically you will be getting the more dimensions. Clear? So my students should think as an officer from today. So how many of you are going to think like that? Yes or no? If yes, type 1 in comment box. If no, type 2 in comment box. So with great confidence I am saying that you have to follow. Okay, you have to follow and you have to think like an officer from today. Okay. And in this ground zero, it is not much important. And there is no text and context today, so that we took less number of articles from The Hindu. And in this news page, again, there are same articles regarding this ethics committee. And you can leave this assembly polls, it is not at all useful. And this world page also I found nothing, so all those topics already we had discussion. So there is nothing like new topic. Okay. So that's all. So these are the important topics. But here you can see one important keyword, that is NPA, non-performing assets. So here see this topic, that is non-performing assets, NPAs. So from this article point of view, you have to see, so what is this non-performing asset? So what is this non-performing asset? And apart from that, you can also see like what are the reasons. So you can say what is this non-performing asset? So why we are calling it as non-performing asset? So what is the criteria to say that so and so loan is NPA? And you have to see what are the reasons for increasing of NPAs in our country. So one of the problems that we are facing in the banking sector is increasing of NPAs. So here you have to see what are the reasons for this increasing of non-performing assets. And apart from that, you can see like what are the measures already taken by the government. What are the measures which are taken by government? And you have to see what is the way forward. Okay, so what is the criteria? So what are the reasons? So what are the measures taken by the government to control this NPAs, or if there are any schemes, so what are they? And you have to see what is the way forward. So how can we decrease this NPA so that we can ensure that our banking sector is running well. So these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu. So now let us see the notes part. So notes part, we already included some article from Down to Earth and Indian Express and as well as PIB. So that is also very important. Okay, so don't only rely on this Hindu, because most of the articles are criticizing government. But we need a neutral perspective, right? So that neutral perspective you can get from Indian Express. Okay, and even Down to Earth, because environment related current affairs that you can get from Down to Earth. So for that point of view, I am trying to include them as well. So if you have any suggestions, so please give me your suggestions in the comment box. So now let us see the notes part. So first topic, it is about Adaptation Gap Report. So you can get a question like Adaptation Gap Report is seen in news. So which of the following organization released that Adaptation Gap Report? So every year you can see one question regarding the report for sure in your UPSC prelims. So from that point of view it is important, and even what are the data that you are collecting here in this report that you can use while writing essay or any mains answer. Is that clear? And this topic is important from your environment and ecology, which comes under your GS paper 3. And this topic is important from both your prelims and as well as your mains. Okay, so now let us see the article. Title says Adaptation Gap Report 2023, funding to developing nations declines. So actually under this climate finance, developed countries need to fund these developing countries to get technology or to get assistance. But this report says that whatever the amount that should be given by developed countries to developing countries, that had been decreased by 15%. So even though many countries they came up with their own pledges, but even though there is decreasing of contributions. So here you have to think like what will be the future impact. So what will be the future impact? If there is no funding, then this developing and least developed countries they will face some issues like increasing of emissions, lack of technology, there will be lack of funding, lack of technology, lack of funding, and even they will contribute more emissions. And one more thing here is they already having some challenges, so that challenges need to be addressed by these countries, right? So they will be not achieving their targets, and that will finally leads to climate change. So here, yes, what happened here is there is decreasing of climate finance by these developed countries to developing and least developed countries. So this is the thing which said in this Adaptation Gap Report 2023. So which organization released this report? That is none other than UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. So this will be very important from your prelims. Okay, United Nations Environment Program released this Adaptation Gap Report 2023. So let us see about this report. So the first edition was released in year 2014, and the aim of this report it is to inform national and international efforts to advance adaptation. So we are focusing on national international efforts to advance adaptation. So Adaptation Gap Report, which consists of two main parts. So first one is assessment of global progress and especially planning, financing and implementation. So this is the first important thing. And the second part, they focus on providing a deeper assessment of status of adaptation with a particular sector or theme, but still framed around the same three elements. Okay, second part which provides a deeper assessment of the status of adaptation, and they will be focusing on the second part. Okay, second part that will be changing from year to year, because based on the climate change events that are happening and climate change weather events, okay, like negative impacts like wildfires, tsunamis, etc. that were happening, right? So because of this, based on the disasters that we are going to face, so we have to come up with a change in the adaptation. So that thing we are focusing on this second part. Clear? Yes or no? And if you see some important findings of the report, it says that yes, there is a gap is seen between the need and as well as action. So what we need, for example, we need 100 rupees, but we are getting 40 rupees. So what is the gap here? Like 60 rupees. So the same way, yes, we are facing crisis between need and action. So there is a there is a growing divide between need and action is seen. So because of this, that will leads to climate change, and people, they are suffering a lot because of this climate change. So in 2023, temperature records topple, that means increasing of temperature and increased frequency of storms, floods, droughts, heat waves, etc., and that led to devastation. So it is one of the important consequences of climate change. And this one is climate adaptation finance. So this climate adaptation finance, which flows from public multilateral, like for example we have World Bank, and bilateral sources from developed to developing nations that had been declined by 15%. So normally here developing and as well as least developed countries, they are going to get funds from WB, that is World Bank. So here this article says that so WB, that is World Bank, is lending less, and even so bilateral sources also had been decreased by 15%. So it is very, very important. And neither domestic nor private funding sources, they could help bridge the adaptation finance gaps, especially in low income countries. Okay, so especially in the low income countries, you are going for private funding. For example, here we have CSR, corporate social responsibility. Yes or no? So these are some important things which are said by this article, and now let us see suggestions. So here in mitigation, so we have to focus on mitigation. So whenever you are focusing on mitigation, we can decrease loss and as well as damage. So we can decrease loss and as well as damage. So we can focus on adaptation. So whenever we are focusing on adaptation, which reduces the risk and minimize the loss and as well as damage. And this one is we have to focus on residual risk. Okay, and next one is we have to focus on climate change events. So we can see like some extreme climate change events like increasing of storm, typhoons, cyclones, droughts, rising of sea levels, ocean acidification, glacier melting, heat wave, flood, and wildfire. These are some important climate change events. And this one is loss and damage. So here we are addressing the loss and damage. Okay, for example, we can go for rebuilding, and we can go for relocation, rehabilitation, reconstruction, providing of livelihood, providing of compensation. All these things are included in this loss and damage. So these are the important suggestions which were given by this report, and I hope it is very much clear. And next topic is violent extremist organization in India collected funds through well-structured network, says FATF report. So FATF is very important. It stands for Financial Action Task Force. So under this FATF, we have two lists, grey list and black list. So you have to see which are the countries placed in grey list and which are the countries placed in black list. There is a high chance of getting questions regarding this topic. And this topic is important from GS paper 2 under international relations, and even from our polity and governance point of view also we can read this article. So if you see the context, it says that a latest report by Financial Action Task Force which highlighted that a violent extremist organization, so which is operating in India, so this organization collected funds through a well-structured network. So this is a thing which mainly said by FATF. Okay, is that clear? And if you see the details, it says that the FATF report on crowdfunding or terrorism financing, which said that funds were used to procure arms. So for what these funds used? So this organization used that entire funds for buying of arms. Arms means nothing but weapons, and procurement of ammunition, and to go for establishment of training the cadres. Okay, the violent extremist organization. So in all these ways this money had been spent. And this report which highlights that 4 main ways in which crowdfunding platforms can be abused for terrorist financing. For example, there is abuse of humanitarian crisis, charitable or non-profit causes, and whenever there is use of dedicated crowdfunding platforms or websites, and when we are using social media platforms and messaging in apps and interaction of crowdfunding with virtual assets. So in all these areas, so it is very, very important. And now let us see some facts regarding this FATF. So there might be the question which asked in your prelims regarding the basic facts. So we are not going to leave anything, we are going to see everything for the sake of clearing this examination point of view. So if you see this FATF, that is Financial Action Task Force, It is nothing but intergovernmental organization. Okay, it is intergovernmental organization. So it leads global action to tackle money laundering, terrorist and proliferation financing. So if we talk about history of this FATF established in 1989 by G7 to examine and to develop measures to combat money laundering. Yes, FATF established in 1989, okay, by G7 to examine and to develop measures to combat money laundering. And this one is originally included G7 countries, the European Commission and 8 other countries in 2001. Okay, so it was included in this G7 countries. And if you're talking about different lists here, so I already said like we have two types of lists, right? So we're talking about the members as of now in this FATF. There are about 40 members, even including India. So if you get a question like India is a part of this FATF or not? Yes, of course, India is a part of this FATF. And recently Indonesia, which has become member of FATF, and we have 40 members. So it have two lists. First one is grey list and second one is black list. So grey list means nothing but the countries which are acting or as a safe haven for terrorists, which is providing shelter, which is providing everything, then that countries will be placed under this grey list. It is like a warning signal for that country to stop helping these members. For example, we have about 23 countries in this grey list. For example, we have UAE, South Africa, and etc. And even if they are not listening, then those countries will be placed under this black list of FATF. Okay, so countries which are known as non-cooperative countries or territories, they will be put in this black list. So these countries, they support terror funding and money laundering activities, etc. For example, in 2023, North Korea, Iran and Myanmar, they were placed under this black list. Okay, so these are some important things that you have to remember from this article point of view. And next topic, it is very interesting. So this is about National Efficient Cooking Program. National Efficient Cooking Program launched, and it is going to promote affordable and energy efficient induction cookers. So this article is utmost important because, so if you are going to rural areas, women will be cooking the food on chulas, traditional chulas, and they will be bringing the firewood, and with that firewood they will be lighting up a fire and they will cook. But whenever they are cooking on this stoves, traditional chulas, then what happened, that will lead to increasing of air pollution. So because of this, who are the most vulnerable? That is children as well as women. So because of this, government came up with this Parliamentary Ujjwala Yojana. Under this, government is providing subsidized gas cylinders to the people. So now here we are focusing on National Efficiency Cooking Program. So this article is utmost important. And now let us see this topic. So under which ministry it comes? It comes under Power, Ministry of Power and New and Renewable Energy. An important aim, it is to promote affordable and energy efficient induction cookers. And it is also focusing on non-solar electricity based induction cook stoves, and they are aligning with Go Electric initiative by Ministry of Power. So it is very, very important. So we are focusing on electric cookers. Okay. So how many of you are using rice cookers in your homes? Please let me know in the comment box. Don't forget. And it introduces induction based cook stoves and offer the cost advantage of 25 to 30% over traditional cooking methods. So I don't know whether you remember this or not. Around 3 months ago, I discussed one article like, so our Prime Minister, he is saying, or he is focusing that we have to move towards electric stoves. So have you ever remembered about this topic? And we discussed in that editorial session itself. So here our Prime Minister, he says that we are importing this crude oil and natural gas from other countries. So whenever we are providing this natural gas, or for example gas cylinders at a subsidized price, it is not feasible. So rather than that, we can go for this using of electric stoves. Okay, electric mechanism, electric instruments, so that we can decrease our import bill. So this is the thing which mainly said. And if we're talking about what are the benefits if you're going for cooking on this electric stoves, so we can focus on energy security and we can reduce the dependence on imports, and it is also cost savings for poor families, and we can also ensure the food quality, and it will be also sustainable practices and energy efficiency, and increased share of non-fossil fuel energy sources can be done. And next one is enhanced well-being and environmental impact. So all these things are benefits if you are using this electric chulas, or electric cookers or electric stoves. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let us see next article. It is about India host 6th session of ISA, that is International Solar Alliance Assembly in New Delhi. So this article is also at most important, and you can get a question regarding ISA in your prelims. So we can't expect this UPSC, right? And next question it is about, next topic it is about here ISA, that is International Solar Alliance. So from now onwards, can we play a small game and a trick? Can we play a game? Yes or no? So what are the topics we are discussing in this analysis, and what are the topics that I am showing in the PDF? So try to expect or try to predict which topics that can come in your examination. So it is just like a game, yes or no? So that here after once exam is done, you can understand like, so how much predictability is right. For example, if you identified like around 4 topics, you thought that this will be in the paper. So how many questions that got from that? So it's expected topics. So in this way you can think about that. So that will be very much helpful to prepare you the well. Okay, so I will be doing this type of predictability. So even in my graduation days, even when I prepared for UPSC, I used to guess like, so this topic will come, this topic will come in examination. So the same topics used to come in examination. So for that, from now onwards, let us play this game. So let me know from today's class, so which are the topics that you are expecting to come in UPSC, so that at the end of the day, I will be giving you the list. Is that clear? Yes or no, students? So that you can prepare well. So let us see the details. So here ISA, that is International Solar Alliance Assembly, which is one of the apex organization or apex decision making body of international solar alliance. So for this ISC assembly is the decision making body. So it is focusing on key initiatives, for example energy access, energy security and energy transition. So in all these areas it is focusing. So what are the key highlights of assembly? So we are focusing on this viability gap funding. So for developing countries, here viability gap funding, which raises from 10% to 35% of the project cost to support financially challenging projects. So here it will be helpful for viability gap funding. And ISA funded projects are there. For example, several solar projects, they were inaugurated. Okay, so for this also it is very, very important. They had been inaugurated not only in India but even in other countries like Fiji, Seychelles, etc. And next one is role of green funds. So assembly, this ISA assembly, which also emphasized on this importance of providing green funds by developed countries. And we are also focusing on energy access and transition of energy. Okay, so these are some important things which mainly discussed in this assembly. And now you have to see some facts regarding this ISA. So you can get a question regarding this ISA in your prelims. So ISA is nothing but it is conceived a joint effort by India and France. It is very important. So it was brought up by India and France initially. And later on many countries they joined. So this was conceptualized on the sidelines of 21st Conference of Parties, that is COP21. And this ISA, it is an action-oriented, member-driven, collaborative platform. So it is action-oriented, member-driven and collaborative platforms to increase the use of solar energy technologies. So with the amendment of its framework agreement in 2020, so member states of United Nations, they are now eligible to join this ISA. So at present, 116 countries, they are signatories of this ISA. It is very important. So here 96 countries, they have submitted the necessary instructions to ratification and they are the full members of this ISA. So these are some important facts that you have to remember. And now let us move on. So the next topic, it is about ethics committee. So you are going to see that topic in detail. So as recently Lok Sabha Ethics Committee asked MP, that is Mahua Moitra, to appear before this committee. So why there is allegation of cash for query. So cash for query is nothing but in Parliament questions will be asked, right? Okay, so opposition party or other party members, they will be asking questions to the ruling party to make them accountable. So here this cash for query is nothing but if any person who is asking questions, so that question will be paid. Okay, will be paid. So this is the allegation on this Mahua Moitra. So the roles and functions of this ethics committee are, the first one is to ensure good conduct. So good conduct need to be ensured. To oversee the moral and ethical conduct of members. And this one is to adjudicating disputes. To examine the cases referred to with reference to ethical and other misconduct of members. So here this will be the one important function. It will be adjudicating the dispute between the people. And this one is in-depth examination. So if there is any complaint which is come up before this committee, so they will be going for efficient examination of that so and so allegation. And this one is, it will also give some reforms and as well as it will also give some suggestions. Okay, and next one is, we have to see what are the challenges which is faced by this ethics committee in Parliament. Yes, each and everything is facing challenges, right? So what are the important challenges? So first one here is overlapping responsibilities. So here the ethics committee and the privileges committee, they are occasionally dealing with the similar cases. So because of this, now there is overlapping between this ethics committee and as well as privileges committee. And this one is conflict with constitutional principles. So the parliamentary privileges, sometimes they will come under conflict with other constitutional principles like equality before law, etc. Okay, so because of this, yes, it is also one challenge. And one more thing you can see here is, there will be the privileges for the MPs, like privilege of immunity from arrest and legal process whenever the parliament session is going on. So that is not available for the all citizens. So because of this, the fundamental right which had been affected here. And this one is short tenure. So members of this committee of ethics are appointed for 1 year tenure. So it is a very less time. So if you want to do some investigation or research on so and so issues, so they need a lot of time. So within this stipulated time, so whenever there is changing of membership, then again they have to do the thing from the first. Okay, so this is the one important problem. And this one is advisory opinion. So decisions of the committee on ethics, they are advisory in nature, but they are not binding at all on the speaker. So because of this, it is also one challenge. So these are some important things that you have to remember. And now let us see next topic. It is about IITs. So especially we are focusing on why there is increasing of suicides in India, especially from students' point of view. So recently NCRB released data which said that accidental deaths and suicides in India, which is more than 13,000 students commit suicide in India at a rate of more than 35 students per day. 35 students per day they are dying because of suicides, and that means for every 42 minutes there is one suicide. So if you analyze the trends of suicide in India according to this NCRB report, so the death by suicide of students has been increased by 32.15% since 2017. Since 2017 there is increased suicide rate in India. So as per Ministry of Education, 112 students from IITs, NITs central universities and other central institutions, they died by suicide. Okay, so out of this we have scheduled caste people, scheduled tribe people, and as well as OBC people. So here if you see what are the factors that are leading to the suicides in students. So first one is education becoming a means of livelihood rather than competitive of knowledge. And if you want to get admission in this IITs, for example IIT NEET or IIT Medicine, so it is very difficult task. And there is also unemployment which is prevalent in high rate in India, and even according to this NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Office, so India's unemployment rate is 6.1%, which is very much high in the 45 years. So because of this unemployment, that will increase prevalence of suicides in India. And even there is financial stress, so there is a steep cost of preparatory courses and tertiary education acts as the burden on the students, and there is also increasing of pressure on the students. And next one is social pressure to get into government jobs or highly paid private jobs. Yes, what happened? So now you are not getting that job, so because of that, yes, that will also lead to suicides. And this one is relationship problems, normally in this adolescent age and in this teen age. Yes, you will be having the attraction. So because of that, what happens whenever there is any breakups between the lovers, and because of family conflicts, friendship issues, that will also lead to suicides. And this one is family problems. So whenever in the traditional large family, so whenever they are not getting the support, yes, that will also increase the trend to go to suicide. And next one is social neglect, how low focus and taboo are also associated with this mental health. Okay, so it is also one important reasons for this suicide. And even social stigma of mental illness. And cyber attacks, right, increased cyber attacks, and forced career choices, and academic stress, if they are failing in the academics, or if they are having a lot of stress in the examination, so that will also cause suicides. And whenever they are getting lack of support from education institutions, or if there is lack of trained human resources for guidance and counseling the students, that is also an important cause for suicides. And marginalized of students from vulnerable sectors. So marginalized sections of students, they are pushed further to margins, okay, because of lack of English medium, and private institutions, they are charging higher fees, and poor quality of education, government run schools and institutes, caste discrimination. So because of all these things, yes, that will lead to increased suicides in India. Okay, so these are very important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper, and as well as I covered from Indian Express as well. So now I want to announce two courses that we are going to launch in Rathod Science. I am very happy to announce this. So first one is we are going to launch this daily mains answer writing course that is going to be started from 6th November onwards. So this is an excellent course. So if you are facing problem regarding this answer writing, like if you have not having enough content, so if you don't know how to present your content, and if you don't know like how to write answer according to the demand of question, so if you are facing problem of understanding the question, how to write an essay, how to write case study, etc. So this is one of the absolute and excellent benefit for the student. Try to join this mains answer writing course. So here we are covering entire your GS, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, along with ethics case studies and as well as essays. And here we are also going to have live doubt clearing session, and even in that live class you are also going to write essay online. Okay, and I will be discussing the essay, and after that I will be giving you like 5 to 10 minutes of time so that you can jot down the points, and after that you can sit for half an hour or 45 minutes and you can elaborate on those points. So in this way we will be building up thinking process in you, and we will be explaining you like what to write in introduction, so what to write in body and conclusion. Everything will be detailedly said in that classes. That is very important. And we are going to give you daily one question, so we are also going to give you the model answer, and what are the answer that you are writing, so there will be detailed evaluation of your answer as well. So the cost of this course is 8,200 rupees only. So you can join this course, and this amount that is for 1 year. So even if you can't pay this amount in one go, you can pay in 2 installments. So if you want to contact me regarding these details of this course, you can call me on this number 8074765513. And even this is WhatsApp number, you can text me on WhatsApp as well if you have any query. And one more thing here is, on November 15th we are going to start this online ethics course. Okay, so here we are covering your entire ethics along with your case studies and theory part within 50 hours of live classes. And here we are covering each and every subject in even every subtopic or keyword in your syllabus, and special focus on examples, real life examples, and some examples from the political thinkers, etc. And next one is, here we are also talking about case studies regarding that so and so topic. And daily mains answer writing practice here. That means here in this course you are focusing on answer writing of only ethics. Okay, and if you are not attending the live, so we are providing the recorded videos as well. So here we have doubt clearing and personal one-to-one mentorship is provided. And the cost of this course here is 4,500 rupees. So try to join this course as soon as possible to get this early bird offer. Okay, so that's all. And I want to show you like where can you get this notes of this class. So the notes of this class you can get in our Telegram channel. So in our Telegram channel you can get the notes. What's happening? So this is Telegram channel, that is Rathod's IAS classes. So the link is given in description box as well. Join this Rathod's IAS classes so that you can get the notes daily. And even if there are any updates, so we are posting the updates in this Rathod's IAS classes. And this is our YouTube channel, Rathod's IAS Academy. So you have to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And next one is, this is our website, Rathod's IAS Academy. So if you are visiting first time to our website, you have to do register. You click on that, and you have to click on do not have account, and you have to fill up all these details for registering. So after registering with your email ID, and you can use the email ID and password, and you can log in here. So after login, you can click on this courses and course list. So this will be appearing on the screen. So these are the wide range of courses that we are offering in Rathod's IAS. So if you want to watch the demo videos, you can click on this play course, so that 3 videos will be opened without paying a single penny. And here at last we have this mains answer writing course. So if you want to join that, so you can click on buy course there itself. And we are also providing this foundation course for your UPSC CS 2024 and 2025. Okay, so here we are discussing each and everything which is relevant from our UPSC point of view from GS. Okay, and here we are also providing you the essay related classes also. So it includes both recorded and as well as live. So the cost here is 45,000 rupees, and that is for 2 years, not for 1 year. And even you can pay in installments as well. So if you pay in one go, so there will be the 10% of additional discount on that. So if you want to pay in installments, you can pay even in installments. Installment facilities also available. Okay, so that's all for today. So these are the important articles that appear in our today's Hindu newspaper. I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and if you really like this class, hit the like button, and don't forget to share this class to your friends as well. And one more thing is please do subscribe to this Rathod's IAS Academy. Thank you so much for watching.